I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Officine Panerai. Today, I'll be your guide to the proper usage, care, and maintenance of your Panerai Luminor 1950 Panerai Classic Yachts Challenge 3 days Chrono Flyback Automatic PAM 654. Now, it's important to note that this is an automatic winding chronograph. Therefore, there is a caseback winding mass underneath the caseback that will use the energy from your wrist in motion to wind the movement. Nevertheless, you can manually wind the timepiece by first unlocking the crown guard, and then in the first position, flush to the case, take the crown and wind it 20 to 30 times. Now you'll know the watch is running even if the chronograph is disengaged, because you'll see the constant seconds hand at 9 o'clock begin to advance. Now at this point you can set the time, put the watch on the wrist, and the natural course of kinetic action on the wrist will continue winding the twin mainspring barrels. But if you wish to wind the watch to its maximum power capacity of 3 days or 72 hours, simply continue turning the crown until you hear a light click or tick inside the case. That's the bridle style mainspring by design, releasing the excess tension, letting you know that the watch is fully wound. Take note, you cannot accidentally overwind this automatic timepiece because the bridle is designed to slip and relieve any excess strain. It simply cues you that the watch is fully wound. Now there are a number of refinements that allow for more precise setting of the time. This timepiece features an intermediate setting position to the crown, such that when you pull it halfway between flush to the case and fully out, you gain access to the time zone feature. While the watch continues to beat, you can see the seconds hand keeps advancing. You can set the hour independent of the seconds or the minute. This is excellent for traveling when you need to keep the time but correct for time zone. Now there's also an outermost position, which is known as stop seconds with zero reset. You can see that the seconds hand has halted and it's reset to the index at 60. Now you can use a reference time, such as an online atomic clock, to set the watch precisely to the second. The best way to do this is to activate the zero reset and stop seconds function, and then advance the watch to the next nearest minute against your reference time. Wait for the reference time to catch back up to the time you've set, and when they match to the second, push the crown back in. You'll see the seconds hand continues to advance. Now you've synchronized your watch. This timepiece is a chronograph, and a chronograph with flyback functionality. So let's take into account what that means. The watch can be started and stopped and reset in conventional fashion. So you start the chronograph using the pusher at 10 o'clock, you stop the chronograph using the same pusher, and you reset using the pusher at 8 o'clock. But since this is a sporting chronograph designed for timing events that may occur in rapid succession with no time to start, stop, reset, if you start the chronograph and then using the trigger at 8 o'clock, immediately reset it, it will reset all three registers, hours, minutes, and seconds, and restart with only a single push of a single trigger. This is excellent when an event is occurring in rapid succession with another, such as two sailboats starting or crossing a line during regatta. It's important to note that there is a radial minutes hand, that's the golden hand at center, that corresponds to the number of minutes ticked off by the timepiece, and it will jump every minute on the minute as the cobalt blue launched style chronograph seconds hand passes the index at 12 o'clock. There is an hour register and corresponding cobalt blue at 3 o'clock. So it is a tri-register chronograph in spite of its vintage-inspired twin register design. The tachymeter scale outboard is calibrated in units that are appropriate to the speed of racing sailboats. Typically this will be measured in knots per hour. The tachymeter scale is used in conjunction with the chronograph. An object will be timed over a set distance, such as a standing kilometer. The chronograph will start at the beginning of the interval and stop at the end of the interval. And the speed, and you can see that the base is 1 nautical mile, will then be read off of the tachometer scale, giving the speed of the boat in knots or nautical miles per hour. The timepiece includes Panerai's deluxe quick-release lug system. You can see that there is a pusher underneath a lug at each end of the case, and in profile you can see the bars retaining the strap of the watch. Using the tools included with the timepiece, depress the trigger on the underside while simultaneously pressing the bar through the lug. This will release the strap on both sides, permitting the watch to be put on an alternate, such as a textile or a rubber strap, or simply allow closer cleaning of the case between the lugs. There are three principal areas of concern, hazard really, with respect to your timepiece: water, magnetism, and shock. Water is the most important. The timepiece features a leather strap that is never water resistant, so always be sure, prior to exposure to moisture, to swap out the leather for textile or rubber. The timepiece, as per the case back indication, is water resistant to 100 meters, which means it's suitable for most aquatic activity short of professional diving. This is not a dive watch. However, it's important to note that you can help avoid accidental drowning. Always ensure that when the watch is wet, not just submerged, but even just wet, that the locking lever of the crown is always down, all crown functions are disused, and the chronograph is not actuated. Keep all functions disused and the crown lever locked when the watch is wet to avoid accidentally bypassing the seals and introducing water to the interior of the watch. It's also important to remember that water resistance is not a static feature of a watch. Over time, as seals age and lubricants degrade, Panerai recommends having the watch taken in on an annual basis to an authorized service center where specialized equipment is available to perform a dry water test to verify that factory-rated hermeticity remains intact. Magnetism is ubiquitous but an unseen threat. It can alter the properties of the ferrous hairspring within the balance of the watch's heartbeat. Magnetism will cause the watch to run erratically, and it can be caused by almost anything from speakers to subwoofers, MRI equipment, the closures of wallets and purses and refrigerators. So keep the watch remote from these, but if you suspect due to very fast running or very slow running that the watch may have become magnetized, take it to an authorized Panerai service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. Concussion and shock, however, can cause more permanent damage. It's important to remember that a fine mechanical timepiece is vulnerable to severe concussions on the wrist. Therefore, it's advisable to keep the watch disused during firearms marksmanship, batting, tennis, or golf, or while riding mountain bikes, ATVs, or snowmobiles, as all of these can produce sufficient violence to damage the timepiece. It's better to be safe and simply disuse the timepiece for those activities. Now, every fine mechanical timepiece will also require a periodic full mechanical, cosmetic, and water resistance overhaul. Panerai recommends that you check the performance and condition of your watch periodically for the purpose of obtaining service, and the best way to do this is to have the watch checked when you take it in for water resistance testing each year. Then your Panerai authorized center can check the cosmetic condition of the case, condition of the strap, the water resistance, as well as the chronometric performance of the movement and its complications. If a complete service is necessary, it's best to do this exclusively at Panerai authorized service centers where specialized equipment, trained personnel, and original factory replacement parts are available to preserve the value of your watch as both an instrument and as an investment. Moreover, only these agencies are authorized to back all parts and labor invested with a Panerai original factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts. We'll be happy to walk you through every phase of the ownership, care, and usage of this or any Panerai fine timepiece.